being out here feels comfortable. Just the way that people talk to each other, the way you can go around places and no one would think twice about what you look like, and there's just so many different kinds of people. It's not to say it's, perfect at all, but it feels comfortable to me. Yeah. I was born and raised in a suburb of Detroit, Michigan. Growing up there was hard. So much of my upbringing was about assimilation. As an Asian American woman and child, we were mostly invisible. And when we were visible was when that was trouble. It was like you were having rocks thrown at you, or how many times in my life people pulled their eyes wide. I mean, it's endless, the numbers of times that when we were visible, it was abusive. So this one says, 最前面的是妈. So it says the one in the one in the frontest front is mother. As I've gotten older and, live in California now, it's like, I don't want to assimilate. I want nothing to do with assimilation. I'm not interested at all. I don't even want to hear that word in my brain, that sort of talk that I used to give myself. Oh, this one's a really cool one. This is my grandmother. I guess she had climbed up this mountain in Taiwan. She was like 40 or something, and that was really unusual because the mountain was really hard to climb up. She was very active, so she liked to go hiking and mountain climbing. I just want to do what I think is right and what I want to do. And I have a good intuition, and that comes from my family, my upbringing, my culture. And so it's very freeing. But I never really saw these photos until my mother died, and then I found a ton of boxes, and I started digging through all of these boxes. My mother looks really happy there. I've never seen her smile like that before. Once my mother died, I just remember just writing things and crying at the same time. So it was very emotional, and I never really thought I was writing it for anyone else, but I do remember thinking, could I explain the feelings to someone, some imaginary person that I'm sitting across from? But I wasn't thinking that I was ever gonna publish these. I didn't even think they were poems. I think I would describe Obit as a distillation of grief. I did not want to write traditional elegies because everyone else had done it. All these elegies were written by all these usually white men, in the past. Being an Asian American woman with, immigrant parents from Taiwan and China, my experiences just didn't feel like those poems.
NPR comes from NPR stations.
I remember sitting in a car listening to NPR, and they were talking about the documentary film called Obit.
Obit. It follows the staff writers of the New York Times obituary desk.
And that word, obit, triggered something in my brain. And then I just started writing. Something about the obituary form gave me that freedom to write about my particular feelings about grief. The first one I wrote was, "The bees died in Nome, Alaska," or something like that. And then I just wrote another one, and then another one, and another one. Then I started fiddling with the form and shaping it like an actual obituary, like thin and narrow. At some point I started reading real obituaries, just seeing the structure and the format, and then I kept on writing. Once the obituary format sort of appeared in my brain, it gave me that freedom to just write about all the losses. Because when my mother was sick, little things died every day. I was writing sort of the things that maybe I needed to read, if that makes sense. And so I was making what wasn't there for me. Writers have ideas. We have things that we want to say, preconceived notions. And sometimes you might know what you want to write before you even sit down to write. Come on, Mustard, slow down. Mustard's always racing to get back home. That is like the biggest nightmare for me as a poet. I do not want to know at all what I'm thinking or feeling. I just want to just be taken along in the process. You don't want to be the person that's walking the dog. You want the dog to walk you. And I actually have dogs that walk me. They're wiener dogs, and they have very strong personalities, and I'm a total pushover. So when I take them for walks, they tell me where they want to go. But that's how I think about it. I think about it as you wanting the language to take you for a walk, but we don't know where we're going.
How can they not be cute? They're so adorable.
Living in America during the time that I've lived in America, it often felt like there is one way to do this or one way to do that.
There's my dad. He was always wearing a suit and tie.
Those look like all his friends, and they must be eating, looks like pretty good food. Our literature has been so dominated by other voices for so long that the way that I've written about grief adds to that diversity of voices. It's a new way of thinking about something. And by the way, new ways of thinking about things happen and have happened throughout history. It's just a matter of getting those voices out and acknowledging that those voices mean something too.